Life is like a game of cards. The hand you are dealt is determinism, the way you play it is free will. Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on November 14, 1889, in Allahabad, India, into an affluent Kashmiri Brahmin family. His father, Motilal Nehru, was a prominent lawyer and a leader of the Indian independence movement. His mother, Swaraprani Thusu, came from a well-known Kashmiri Brahmin family. Nehru was the eldest of 3 children and had 2 sisters, Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit and Krishna Hutty Singh. Nehru's early years were spent in a sheltered and luxurious environment. He received private tutoring at home and was influenced by his father's liberal views. This upbringing shaped Nehru's early intellectual development and laid the foundation for his future political career. At the age of 15, Nehru was sent to Harrow, a prestigious boarding school in England. His time at Harrow exposed him to Western ideas and cultures, which significantly influenced his outlook on life. After completing his schooling at Harrow, Nehru attended Trinity College, Cambridge, where he studied natural sciences. He graduated in 1910 and subsequently went to London to study law at the Inner Temple, one of the 4 Inns of Court. He was called to the bar in 1912. Upon returning to India in 1912, Nehru practiced law briefly but soon became disillusioned with the profession. His passion for the Indian nationalist movement led him to abandon his legal career and dedicate himself fully to the cause of India's independence. Nehru's exposure to the Indian nationalist movement during his time in Britain fueled his desire to contribute to the struggle for independence. Upon his return to India, he joined the Indian National Congress and began his political journey. During World War I, Nehru became increasingly involved in the political discourse surrounding India's participation in the war. He was critical of British policies and sought greater self-governance for India. Nehru actively participated in the Home Rule movement, which aimed to achieve self-governance within the British Empire. His involvement in this movement brought him closer to prominent leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant. Nehru played a key role in the non-cooperation movement launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1920. He was deeply influenced by Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence and became a staunch advocate of civil disobedience. In 1927, Nehru attended the Congress of Oppressed Nationalities in Brussels, where he sought international support for India's independence struggle. This marked the beginning of his efforts to globalize the Indian cause. Nehru was instrumental in drafting the fundamental rights and economic policy resolutions at the 1929 Lahore session of the Indian National Congress. These resolutions outlined the party's vision for an independent India. In December 1929, under Nehru's presidency, the Indian National Congress declared complete independence, Purna Swaraj, as its ultimate goal. January 26, 1930, was designated as Independence Day, which later became the date for India's Republic Day. Nehru was a prominent participant in the Salt March led by Gandhi in 1930, a pivotal event in the civil disobedience movement against British rule. The success of the Salt Satyagraha cemented Nehru's position as a leading figure in the Indian independence movement. His leadership during this period gained him immense popularity and respect. During the mid-1930s, Nehru traveled extensively in Europe, where he observed the rise of fascism and communism. His experiences influenced his economic and political views, leading him to advocate for socialism as a means of achieving social justice in India. As World War II loomed, Nehru continued to lead the Congress in its civil disobedience campaigns. He opposed the Lahore Resolution, which called for the creation of Pakistan, and rejected the British government's August offer, which fell short of granting full self-governance to India. The Japanese invasion of India during World War II and the failure of the Cripps mission to secure Indian cooperation led Nehru and the Congress to launch the Quit India movement in 1942, demanding an immediate end to British rule. Nehru was imprisoned multiple times during the independence struggle, most notably during the Quit India movement. His time in prison only strengthened his resolve to achieve freedom for India. In the final years before independence, Nehru played a crucial role in negotiations with the British government. He was a key member of the interim government formed in 1946 and worked tirelessly to navigate the complex political landscape leading up to independence. As the first Prime Minister of independent India, Nehru was a staunch advocate of republicanism. He played a pivotal role in shaping India's democratic institutions and ensuring the smooth transition from a British colony to a sovereign republic. Nehru led India through its tumultuous early years as a newly independent dominion. He faced numerous challenges, including partition, refugee crises, and communal violence. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi in 1948 was a devastating blow to Nehru and the nation. Despite the loss, Nehru remained committed to Gandhi's ideals and worked to preserve his legacy. Nehru was instrumental in the integration of princely states into the Indian Union and the adoption of a new constitution, which came into effect on January 26, 1950, establishing India as a republic. In India's first general election in 1952, Nehru led the Congress to a landslide victory, solidifying his position as the leader of the nation. During his first term as Prime Minister, Nehru focused on building a modern, secular, and democratic India. He implemented policies aimed at promoting industrialization, education, and social justice. Nehru was re-elected as Prime Minister in 1957 and 1962, continuing to steer India through its formative years as a nation. His leadership during this period was marked by significant economic and social reforms. In 1961, Nehru authorized the military operation that led to the annexation of Goa, ending Portuguese colonial rule in India. The Sino-Indian War of 1962 was a significant setback for Nehru. The Chinese invasion of India exposed weaknesses in Nehru's foreign and defense policies, leading to widespread criticism. Nehru's vision for India was rooted in secularism, socialism, and democracy. His governing policies aimed at fostering unity in diversity, promoting scientific temper, and establishing India as a leader in the global arena. Nehru's economic policies focused on state-led industrialization, with an emphasis on heavy industries and infrastructure development. His vision of a mixed economy laid the foundation for India's future growth. Nehru's government introduced land reforms and promoted agricultural development to improve the living conditions of India's rural population. Nehru was committed to social justice and worked to uplift marginalized communities through affirmative action and welfare programs. Nehru placed a strong emphasis on education, establishing institutions like the Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs, and the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AMS, to promote scientific and technical education. Nehru championed the Hindu Code Bills, which reformed Hindu personal law, granting greater rights to women in matters of marriage, inheritance, and property. Nehru advocated for a pragmatic language policy, recognizing Hindi as the official language while promoting the use of English and regional languages to maintain national unity. Nehru ensured India's continued membership in the Commonwealth of Nations after independence, maintaining strong ties with former British colonies. As a founding member of the non-aligned movement, Nehru positioned India as a leader of the developing world, advocating for peace and cooperation among nations. Nehru's defense policy emphasized self-reliance and the development of indigenous defense capabilities. He also initiated India's nuclear program with the aim of harnessing atomic energy for peaceful purposes. Nehru played a crucial role in defending India's claim to Kashmir during the Indo-Pakistani conflict of 1947 to 1948. He sought a peaceful resolution through the United Nations but also maintained a strong military presence in the region. Nehru initially sought friendly relations with China, advocating the Hindi Chini Bye-Bye, India and China are brothers, slogan. However, the Sino-Indian War of 1962 severely damaged relations and was a major setback in his foreign policy. Nehru maintained a complex relationship with the United States, balancing India's non-alignment stance with the need for economic and military aid. While he was critical of U.S. policies in the Cold War, he also sought American assistance in various sectors. Throughout his tenure as Prime Minister, Nehru faced several assassination attempts, a testament to the volatile political climate of the time. Despite the threats, he remained committed to his vision for India. Jawaharlal Nehru passed away on May 27, 1964, after suffering a stroke. His death marked the end of an era, and India mourned the loss of its first Prime Minister and one of its most beloved leaders. Nehru held several key positions throughout his political career, including President of the Indian National Congress, Member of Parliament, and Prime Minister of India from 1947 until his death in 1964. Nehru worked closely with several prominent leaders, including Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and B.R. Ambedkar. His collaboration with these leaders was instrumental in shaping modern India. Nehru was an agnostic and a staunch secularist. He believed in the separation of religion from politics and advocated for a pluralistic society where all religions coexisted peacefully. Nehru's legacy is commemorated through numerous institutions, scholarships, and programs named after him. His birthday, November 14th, is celebrated as Children's Day in India, reflecting his deep love for children and education. Nehru's life and legacy have been depicted in various films, books, and documentaries. His image as a charismatic and visionary leader continues to inspire generations of Indians. Nehru was a prolific writer, and his works include The Discovery of India, Glimpses of World History, and an autobiography. These writings offer deep insights into his thoughts, ideals, and the history of India. Nehru was the recipient of several international honors, including honorary degrees from prestigious universities and the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, in 1955. Posthumously, Nehru has been honored with various memorials, statues, and institutions that bear his name. His contributions to India's independence and development are celebrated across the nation. Jawaharlal Nehru's legacy as the architect of modern India endures in the nation's democratic institutions, secular values, and commitment to social justice. His vision of a united, independent, and progressive India continues to guide the country's development, even decades after his passing. As a leader, statesman, and thinker, Nehru left an indelible mark on India's history, inspiring future generations to pursue the ideals of freedom, equality, and human dignity. His life and work remind us that the pursuit of a better world is a journey of perseverance, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to the greater good.